About 185 people on board a GoAir flight from Nagpur had a miraculous escape on Monday. Aviation watchdog DGCA ordered an inquiry after an Airbus A320 commercial jet flown by GoAir was forced to execute an unorthodox and dangerous takeoff from Bengaluru International Airport in poor weather conditions. The A320 jet had taken off from Nagpur on Monday with reported passenger capacity of 180, all on board, and was scheduled to land in Bengaluru later the same day. However, on landing, the plane began veering off the runway and got onto the grass strip that covered one side of the runway. At this point, the pilot increased engine speed and was fortunately able to take off. The plane then proceeded to Hyderabad, its diversionary airport, where it landed safely. Nagarjun Dwarkanath, my colleague, with more details on this. Nagarjun, I'm not an expert, you are, but please tell me that if the plane skids over the runway, goes onto this, grass field or a muddy track, won't the pilot be trying to stop the plane by applying brakes rather than taking off?
What you said was correctly put in words. The pilot, when he veered off the runway, the first thing is to apply brakes and stop the plane, because the wheels can break off anytime, because this is not the tarmac that the plane is landed on. It has veered off the runway. The speed is around 150 knots, which is approximately around 270 to 300 kilometers per hour, and veered off to the grassy patch of the runway, and it's muddy track, and the wheels could have broken down, and it could be a big collision with the ground. But instead of that, the pilot did apply more acceleration and took off immediately, is what we are told. The picture clearly states that, shows that there was a muddy path or a grassy path, and the tires did go through it, and there was mud stuck and puddles stuck on the undercarriage of the aeroplane when it landed back in Hyderabad. This flight was coming from Nagpur to Bengaluru. The pilot did veer off the runway, and 180 passengers were on board. Clear close mishap for them. Luckily, nothing happened, but the pilots have been derostered. DGC has reported this incident, and further investigation is on. And even the video that we have access clearly shows that the plane touches down in the middle of the runway, but immediately moves towards the left and enters the patch where there's a lot of grass and mud. And immediately the pilot also accelerates and takes off instead of applying brakes.
Amazing. I mean, as I said, I'm not an expert. Nagarjun is. He's a trained pilot, and that is what he was telling us. In fact, the pilot somehow decided to put more acceleration, put more power into the engines, and then try and take off rather than braking. It could have resulted in a big disaster. Thankfully, for the passengers on board, it did not.